Yo, what's up everybody? It is your boy, Lavon Cason, back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be doing a video reaction of Dreamcast's guide video, which is called, This New Xbox Leak is Bad. Maybe, yes, maybe, do not buy the Series S. So let's begin.
What's up gamers, Dreamcast guy here, talking today about the Xbox Series S, because this latest Xbox leak is bad. In fact, I would say that in the past I've said the Series S is an interesting idea, the fact that there is such a cheap way to get into next gen, but now that we're seeing this leak, I think the system might not be worth it. Now quickly I want to say, I'm very sorry there hasn't been a bunch of videos this week, but honestly I've been working on some giant reviews, including Yakuza Like a Dragon and Bug Snacks. So both of those videos are going up very soon. But today we're talking about the Series S. Now right now of course we're going into the next console generation. The PlayStation 5 and the Series X are high-powered, high-priced machines. With a $500 price tag, these are meant to be the beefy next-gen systems that can do 4K, have instant load times, and be very impressive compared to the current generation. But I've always been curious specifically about the Xbox Series S because
Same here, my
of that
friend.
$300 price tag. The fact that this system could be so cheap and still have some of the features is something that definitely intrigued me. Now, as we've gotten closer to the launch of the Series S, there has been some news reports that it may not quite be what we thought. Like, here's one. Yakuza
That
Like a Dragon
Yakuza engine is not really all that optimized, so of course I was expecting the game to run at a 900p 60 frames per second resolution. And that's just because of the engine that is being used for Yakuza Like a Dragon. Like, it is a very intensive engine. Like, it is not all that optimized like that.
Series S can't do 1080p and 60 FPS at the same time. I do love this really shocked face from Ichi. Apparently, Yakuza Like a Dragon will offer two graphics modes on the Xbox Series X. One that runs at 1440p, 30 frames a second, and one that offers 900p at 60 frames a second. Yes, that's right. If you want 60 FPS, Microsoft's next-gen console won't be able to hit it at the 1080p mark. Now, I've been playing a bunch of Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's a very good game. That's why I'm doing a giant review about it tomorrow. But it's also not super advanced. I mean, this is a kind of primitive game in some aspects. Like, it's not ultra visually demanding. It's not like there's, you know, super big explosions. There's not crazy physics. It is just a typical, very good open world experience.
Let's look up something real quick. Yakuza Like a Dragon Xbox Series X resolution. Hold on, let's look this up. High resolution mode will be limited to 30 frames per second with 4K on the Xbox Series X. So as far as 60 frames per second goes, it'll be 1440p. And that's for its performance mode. So performance mode on the Series X will be 1440p, 60 frames per second. Alright, so let's go back to the video.
So the fact that this specifically cannot hit 1080p has some people worried. But to me, what's really caught my eye is now the leaks.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
definitely misleading at this point. Saying your console is $300 is great. I do think there is going to be a lot of people, especially like casual gamers and stuff, who pick it up this year to play something like Minecraft. Let
me go
and
back
Fortnite.
just a little bit.
It's their entryway, gateway drug to next gen. Call of Duty each year, plus the map packs, and then delete it to install it the next year. try and install something, you basically get to pick one Call of Duty each year, plus the map packs, and then delete it to install it the next year. And in fact, I looked it up. This is the actual size of the next Call of Duty that's coming out next week. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War requires up to 250 gigs of storage. 250 gigs of storage. If we're talking about maximum amount of space, because yes, there's going to be compressed versions of this game files, there's going to be like a quick resume mode or whatever. Even at that, that is like 70% of your entire hard drive for a single game. The Xbox Series S is an interesting idea, but I feel like the price tag is definitely misleading at this point. Saying your console is $300 is great. I do think there is going to be a lot of people, especially like casual gamers and stuff, who pick it up this year to play something like Minecraft and Fortnite. It's their entryway, gateway drug to next gen, you know? But the problem is that if you're trying to buy true next-gen experiences, things that
The
are
games
designed
will
and built
probably
from the ground
be,
up,
a lot less space-wise, because it's running at 1080p resolution or supposedly 1440p resolution. So the games are going to be with less space. With the Series X and the PS5, there's going to be more space that will be taken up because of, the ray tracing and the 4K resolution, stuff like that. Where with the Series S is going to be, less space taken up because the games are pretty much running at 1080p resolution.
to be, utilizing the solid state drive and stuff, things that are going to have big textures, you're going to only be able to install a couple games at
You can
a
use
time.
your external
And to
hard
me,
drive
This is
and store the games on there. You won't be able to play the new next-gen games from your hard drive or your external SSD, but you'll be able to store those games on those drives. So if you want to play a next-gen game, you're going to have to transfer from your external SSD into the internal SSD for the Xbox Series S, X, and the PS5.
ridiculous. Now, of course, you do have the secondary option, which, of course, we have the memory cards. So
Again,
I
nobody's
decided to
telling you
look
that
this
you
up
have to buy
again
these
because,
memory
hey,
cards.
here we are.
You don't really have to buy the memory cards. If you have a hard drive laying around or whatever, or an external SSD, you could just store the games on there whenever you want. And if you want to, if you want to play that game that badly, then just, transfer it onto your internal SSD. That's all you pretty much have to do.
The Microsoft Store, what makes the Xbox very different from the PlayStation 5 is that they do have some very out-of-the-box storage options. This is an additional terabyte of data. So if you are somebody that has a little bit of extra money laying around and you really, really despise uninstalling games, like me, at any time I have, 50 games installed on my PlayStation 4 right now. I have the 2 terabyte PlayStation 4, so, I'm able to keep a lot of stuff on there. I think that the expanded storage thing is interesting. I actually think this is a pretty good idea. The problem, in my opinion, is the price points. I appreciate that this is literally plug and play. The fact that there is just a dedicated storage expansion slot that you just pop in. This is an extremely cool idea, and I'm glad they did this. But at $220, that is a pretty juicy upgrade. That is a pretty substantial cost. Now, just doing some basic mental math, $300 for the Xbox Series S, $220 to try and get this expanded storage slot in order to have an actual playable version of next gen for the lowest cost. That comes out to, before tax, being $520. And that doesn't even count all the fees and stuff. That doesn't count all the extra stuff, like if you happen to have this shipped, that could end up costing you $550 for the worst version of next gen. Now, this to me is absolutely a deal breaker. And the reason I'm making this video isn't to try and like shame Xbox people. It's not me saying that Xbox is bad. I'm saying don't buy this version of it. The Xbox Series X is going to have more power. It's going to have
What if you don't
Pass,
care
of
about
course, like all the
resolution?
other
What if you don't
Xboxes,
care
and
about
it's just
4K? That's what the Series S is really for people that really don't care about resolution like that, that just want to play those new third-party games. Whatever resolution it's on, you know, that's whatever, but as long as they be able to play that new next-gen third-party game on that Series S, then it really shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, it's going to look rough. Yeah, it's going to be a 1080p dynamic or 900p, but at least they'll be able to play the game.
have everything much more readily available. This feels like a rushed attempt by Microsoft. Honestly, that's the biggest thing to me that makes this almost kind of aggravating in a way, is that it just seems like it wasn't
Another ad.
properly thought out. Having such a limited amount of storage is laughable. I mean, the big thing that Microsoft has been trying to talk up is the idea of smart delivery. The idea behind this is that whenever you're trying to install something, it'll tell which version of the system it's on and give you the perfect version of it. So if you get an Xbox 360 game off my shelf and plug it into an Xbox Series X, it'll automatically install 4K assets and make it look as good as possible. But if you put it on an Xbox One S, it'll know the difference between the systems and give you the perfect version of that game. That way you don't have, too much storage space taking up. But my problem is that even with the Xbox Series S, it just feels like it's not keeping up. The other systems have the ideas, they have the power, they have the space to be fully utilized. Only this system just feels like, I don't know, some sort of like prototype that just definitely wasn't finished. Don't believe the box. If you can, wait. I can't believe I'm having to say this, especially just 6 days from the launch of the new Xbox.
$300. You'll be able to play next-gen games a lot more than the Nintendo Switch. See, that Xbox Series S, I know it's going to get third-party support. I know that for a fact. But that Nintendo Switch, though, for the same price for $300, it's getting, a little tiny bit of third-party support. But it'll probably won't get the new next gen games, though. It probably won't, but I know for a fact that the Series S will get those next gen games.
Boxes in 8 days from the new PlayStation, but wait to get the best version of next gen. Maybe you'll have to wait a couple months, maybe you won't get the next gen until March, but I still think that at this point it's probably a better idea to get the highest powered console for $500 when you can afford it, because that is a pretty penny, then end up trying to slum it and get what I believe is a legitimate
How is it a bad version of next gen if you don't care about resolutions, though? That's the thing right there. Like, there's a lot of people out there that are still gaming on 1080p TVs. So, if they do get the Series S, I don't think it would really bother those people. They just want to play the new 2K. They just want to play the new Fortnite mod or whatever, or new Fortnite update. That's all they want. Like, all this, ray tracing and all this, 4K and all that stuff, those are just bells and whistles. That's all it pretty much is, just bells and whistles. Like, they're nice, but are they necessary?
With the Xbox Series S. But these have just been my thoughts. What do you think about these leaks? What do you think about the tiny hard drive of the Series S? And is this a deal breaker for you?
Devil May Cry 5, the special edition, there will be no ray tracing for the Series S version. Now, is that a big deal? Well, I mean, to me, probably not. But, I mean, to your average gamer, would that be a big deal? It depends.
installs one game at a time, plays it one game at a time, and deletes it one game at a time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming.
Alright, that's enough of that
I gotta get back
video.
to
That's
playing
enough.
Yakuza because
That is enough. Alright, so, you know, get a Series S. I mean, it's cheap. You'll be able to play the new third-party games. I mean, it's using a CPU. It's using the Zen 2 CPU. It's, you know, it has the SSD. Granted, it has, you know, less space. And it's using an RDNA 4 teraflop GPU. So, this, I mean, again, if you want the bells and whistles of, say, the ray tracing and stuff like that, then this console is not for you. But if you don't care about ray tracing, and if you just want 60 frames per second, then get a Series S. Why not? Get a Series S. I mean, yeah, it's 1080p, but would that really matter all that much? I mean, as long as you're just getting the new third-party game, right? As long as you're getting the new Call of Duty. As long as you're getting the new Madden. As long as you're getting the new 2K. Would that really matter? And that's the thing right there. But that's all I have to say in this video. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with Dreamcast guy? You know, don't buy the Xbox Series S, or what? I mean, let me know in the comment section below. I mean, did I have some points? I mean, let me know. Bye and peace.